expect him to pick that one up. Goes to the Corki instead. All right, that's a little less expected for me. I typically prefer his Tristana. Creme can now go towards that pick himself, which can very much do a lot of work. Wouldn't surprise me to see that one immediately answered with.
I really like the Tristana right now. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't get locked in.
I think it's the strongest mid laner. I think it's the strongest mid laner on the patch.
And it gives you priority.
Easy push, gives you everything. Like, it gives you the scaling, gives you priority. There are basically no bad matchups for it. And a lot of our mid laners are very practiced at it too. You get early pressure, you go into grubs, you can go into heralds. This champion can solo win you games from the tower pushing potential. Never mind the scaling range of your passive with that draw of beads. So, got that double AD carry. Both AD carries locked in into the mid lane. We see one game of Corki ADC. It's very rare that we see it elsewhere besides that. Opens up AP carries. That means that Tian will pick up the Zyra. Imagine WeiWei can pick up Karthus, Lilia, Brand, whatever he wants.
Ooh, gonna go with the Nidalee instead. Just asking to bury one of those spears into one of the plants. But for me, it's the Jax locked in for Zika that's important.
Gives you a top lane carry option, which is of course very different from the Rumble in regards to you're more of a split pusher and a diver. You throw your body into the fray rather than having that equalizer to go over the top. 369, he's more than likely going towards something that can frontline for his two more squishy carries in the backline. Tristana, Zyra, they need someone to stand in front of them to help them play to their long range. LNG, they have already quite a difficult composition to play out. I'm going to say that now. Much harder than the last game. Nidalee, we've had a lot of conversations about, should this just be a Karthus? Should this just be another AP carry? The Nidalee is great for WeiWei. He has played a lot of this in the past, but it's just so hard for teams to enable this consistently. There's currently very limited lockdown from LNG2. It's not like the game we saw from Anyone's Legend earlier with a TF in the mid lane to lock down with the gold card. The Corki adds no CC to the equation to help out with WeiWei, which means that Scout and WeiWei aren't going to have the best combo.
Very curious at why LNG are willing to go with the Nidalee, but we'll see if WeiWei can pull it off. Obviously, I know Nidalee himself. Obviously, spanning back all the way back to his Suning days. But I am looking at the second phase. We have a lot of ADCs banned away, a lot of high-profile ones potentially still being let through. I expect both this 2v2 matchup to be a little bit aggressive down there.
I wonder if LNG lock away the Ezreal. Ezreal could be a decent pick away because LNG currently don't have the best engage, currently don't have best way to catch out very mobile targets, so Ezreal could cause them a couple of issues whilst also remaining fairly lane dominant. Would leave open something like the Varus, but I feel like they can deal with that easier than something like the Ezreal. I guess the Callisto also long range can build towards the Edge of Night. That also fits it, but it does leave open the Ezreal.
Love to see it here, actually. As the Ezreal has been just rising super heavily through priority around the world, but also here. Want to see that one slinking on through. But the support matchup, the most important part here, feels like for top esports, is their save and counter pick for Meiko.
And of course, we know how good Meiko is at utilizing champions to both win lane and then also roam across the map and impact the game. Soup, LNG, they need some extra engage. They have very, very little of it right now. There's no Nautilus or Leona, though, so you're expecting, what, Rel, Alistar, one of the two. Rel's more consistent. You don't have to get in range for that headbutt. You have slightly longer range engage combo, and slightly longer CC duration as well. It makes a lot of sense to go towards that Rel, which leaves Meiko kind of obviously knowing what's going towards this. He can go towards the Alistar himself.
Gonna get some very interesting bot lanes as some serious damage potential between Gala and JackeyLove, rightfully so. But it's truly looking like another game where we're gonna get some big team fights, brother. I'm kind of excited for it.
I love
Both
it.
teams kind of opting for that strategy here so far.
So LNG, their composition is damn hard to play. You have limited lockdown, you have a load of damage, but nothing really to set up with it. They're also outranged by Zyra plants, by Tristana in late game, and then also Ezreal with his Q length as well. So LNG, they have upped the difficulty. We thought it might get more difficult because of Fearless. They don't have that Jace, they don't have the Ziggs or the Rumble, which looked really important to that composition. And Meiko on the Alistar can hold the door shut to keep that range advantage at the hands of top esports. Feels like Meiko can just shut that door. And then also now, because he's played that Braum to tie it with his most played of all time, Meiko then overtakes that again with his Alistar, once again reclaiming his top spot for his career. Game 130 for Meiko on the Alistar. Again, players have had whole careers which have lasted less than he's played on a single champion.
Let alone two of them. Crazy. No, it's really nice to see Meiko kind of having a bit of a renaissance here, and especially in a series that maybe matters that much more. Again, Scout, that man on your screen right there, a known compatriot, a world champion just like Meiko, in the same team. And here now against each other. We're getting into game number 2, an important one here for LNG as they are scraping to try to catch up and beat RA. There's only one spot left to that Group A Ascend group in the Rumble stage here for Group C. It could be decided in these next couple games as we only have a couple left for both sides. Let's get into game number 2 here. LNG versus Top Esports. Love to see a little bit of... Oh. Maybe this is why they were cheering. Because Zika, he's going to be in trouble up here. Do
you have to have a reason to cheer nowadays? It's like yeah, he doesn't quite know how to... Buddy, careful. No!
Oh, goodness. He's going to counter-strike away from it. Trying to get the flash here. The rest of his team's coming up, but it's one more auto attack, and JackeyLove gets first blood instantly back to get that lane advantage down there.
He has less to be cheering about now. The back is going to be secured by 369, protects JackeyLove in that case. That's really important because it means that JackeyLove would have had to, well, he didn't have E or Flash. Potentially could have got caught out completely. Going to go back towards bot side. Has a tear already from first back. Oh, that's so sad for LNG. We said that the difficulty had gone up a notch in this game because they don't have a lot of their comfort champions. It's a hard composition to play as well. Giving over a first blood to JackeyLove, who's presumably wanting to claw one back against that last game. That ain't it, Mazel. That ain't it.
I would agree, my friend. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I expected this series to go to 3 all through and through. I expect Top Esports to be able to cleanly handle this game, or at least handle the game itself, maybe not cleanly. But these two teams, especially the way the first game was so back and forth, I do expect to go the distance. And I think Top Esports definitely going to be happy with early game advantages. They have a very strong comp to play around that. Double marksman comp with the Zyra, who will be pushing the pace of the objectives, is huge.
Also, it's the Zyra with the Comet build. We've moved away from Dark Harvest, which I think was overplayed anyway on the Zyra. Means that you get to go towards Liandry's plus Scorch plus Comet with the Rylai's, meaning that it's very likely to hit the Comet as well. Very, very powerful against a very squishy lineup from LNG. Once you get up to Liandry's plus something like the Sork Pen Boots as well, particularly since you have the Soul Magic damage on your team, Tian could just take over the game. The Brand, he couldn't quite manage to do that in the last game. He got very, very close. Again, I think Tian had a strong game in the last one after a difficult early game. I think the Zyra could take over.
Congratulations to 369, 500 games in the LPL now as well. Starting to earn a little bit of that veterancy, but been really cool to watch him back on Top Esports. He obviously showed the JDG emote off there, known for his time for about 2 years on JDG, but he was originally a Top Esports developmental project and spent a lot of time over here before he went to JDG, and now he's back home.
Maybe we should measure his career as like 4 Meiko Alistairs, because it's about the same if he played that times over. It's crazy that we can count careers in Meiko's one. There's a lot of veterancy on this team, over and over. Of course, 369, yeah, he was here during the golden era of Top Esports. It feels like Meiko joining for potentially the start of something very special again for this roster. It's been a little while since Top Esports have been towards actual silverware, and this is something which the team had not grown accustomed to, but always been contending for. The fact that they're back there again, had a finals in spring, I'm sure that's been long overdue for many Top Esports fans out there. Tian got bot scuttle. He's going to potentially double scuttle here as well.
Yeah, Tian was very vocal about how long it had been since he'd been to internationals, how long he'd been since he's seen the trophy, and very emotional about it. I think the way that things fall, it has been a long time since he's found lasting success, and in this little moment, he also doesn't find success in taking the Scuttle Crab. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but a little bit of move towards top side for WeiWei is going to keep pressure up there at least.
WeiWei didn't have Flash. There was a real chance that Tian could double scuttle there. This is a specialty of Tian where he does contest you on both sides of the river in the early game. A lot of junglers very happy to just go their own separate ways, meet up a little bit later, give over something in the early game. Some could construe this as greedy from Tian, but he's made it work so many times for him. I don't think that's apt. He's made it work because he knows he has lanes that can follow him. Heck, even against the likes of BLG and Spring. They were taking early fights against them because Tian was rocking up the fights early and forcing BLG maybe into situations which they weren't prepared for back when they won that split in Spring, of course. But Tian not going to quite get the leg over on WeiWei at this point, but still happy right now. Interesting to me, Tian's gone for the green jungle item, which gives you the shield. He isn't going for something like the Scorch Claw, which can give you a bit extra burn damage. He's aware that he might be one of the people caught in the engage, and he wants to get a little bit of extra defenses on that regard.
Yeah, Zanya's, I'm sure, in his future as well. Try to buy a lot of time. Now, Dragon has spawn. The Grubbies, they're on a timer, about 35 seconds out. Both junglers heading down towards this bottom side, though. It might lean towards the Dragon fight for the first one.
With bot side control for top Esports, you expect them to be the ones to have the first crack at that objective. Grub's going to spawn in 20 seconds. If top Esports manage to get any decent information on WeiWei, then we'll see whether they want to contest again. Of course, last game, LNG were the team which took both the early objectives, very much against what we have expected from the first 4 series from both of these teams and across the full LPL as well. Not many teams contest it, and if they are, they're probably called top Esports. Tian is not going to go towards the Dragon. Again, saying, okay, I can take Grubs really quickly. I'm an AP farming jungler, has the Fated Ashes, goes towards top side instead, but WeiWei will be contesting.
WeiWei was pathing down towards bot side, but immediately, as soon as Tian showed in mid lane, he wanted to come contest. Looking for a little bit of poke with the spears. Mid lane priority is super important. Creme maybe caught looking over at that fight over there. Needs to be careful. Scout wants the kill here. He's looking for one more. He gets the flash out of Creme. Oh.
We did see that Zika hit level 6 and Tian was contesting for those grubs. So, Creme blows the flash. Somehow Tian gets away without using his flash. And because the ults were traded and the flash from Zika as well. So Tian knew that at least 369 could come to help. Even if Creme has been honestly outlaned by Scout. Scout has been doing a fantastic job of keeping Creme to an account. And of course, Scout, he's a player which has a lot of eyes on him from his performance in 2023. But he hasn't quite been able to match that one. Feels like Scout has really come to play, though, in this series alone. Can he come back to help this grub take, though?
Tian skillfully taking that second grub. We'll be able to get the third. WeiWei under vision that entire time and unable to get help from Zika from the top side as well. So that'll be some really nice objective control so far from top Esports. And because Dragon didn't get traded early, you can get a bot side clear going for Tian now, full clearing down towards that next one.
Yeah, and you might think, yes, Zyra, she'll be delayed on heading towards bot side. She has camps to take. No, there are in fact no camps to take. There is a light stroll through the jungle. He'll get down there in about, 40 seconds or so. He'll be completely happy to do that one. WeiWei might just be looking to contend with this, though.
You might be one with the plants in the jungle, but I am the apex predator, says WeiWei on the Cougar. Trying to find the spear on Tian, but trying also to contest over this red. It's actually going to be stolen away by WeiWei. Gets the better of him. Now Scout coming over with the Valkyrie, going for the damage. He's got the burst, and that's huge. Tian flashing out. Creme going for the rocket jump. He can't get the resets off just yet, but he's trying to go for the damage here. Tian can't do much more about it, and WeiWei steals away the big raptor.
Okay, so WeiWei manages to disrupt that clear a little bit. This is how you're meant to play the Nidalee. You have to get into the enemy jungle, not just wait until you get one item or something, then your power spike is largely left. Picture is what was happening while the mid lane the mid lane flash was being blown. See that there was a flash forward for a stun and the ult, but 369 really helping out Tian on the top side, helps him survive this aggressive play, and then also helps him on the grubs just beyond that. 369, very much a team player up there and helps him on that one. But WeiWei still managing to contest across the map, so it's not completely one-sided so far.
We'll check in where gold is and how the map is falling so far. LNG, definitely the ones that need to be proactive. I know you talked in draft about their difficulty of execution on their composition, but if they're ahead, it gets a little bit easier to do so. They aren't ahead because on the other side for top Esports, they've been able to play around some of the advantages that LNG thought they had, but it's more so this bottom side that's going to be pretty strong so far, at least.
I think one of the things which LNG will really need to do is look to Scout in the mid lane again. Of course, he had a pretty damn good game number 1. Managed to control that Jace versus Yone matchup on the Corki. Once again, stacks up a wave, gets into bot river first. They get the Scuttle, probably. WeiWei does have smites, so that should come through. They're not going to be able to stick in river for a full dragon contest. Very hard to stand against the Dragon Wall on blue side because you'd just be pinned against the wall for top esports to rain down Hellfire on them with, again, long-range Creme champions that they have. So LNG take the scuttle, they get out, but Dragon's still not started from top esports just yet.
It's going to be a late one. I honestly wonder if we're going to get it at all here. Almost 10 minutes in, and the Dragon hasn't been taken. But top esports moving in for turret plates on bottom side. JackeyLove is going to arcane shift his way out of that one.
He just stands still.
Yeah.
He just stands still. Oh, wow. Doesn't
And the
even have to
thumbs
blow the
up
flash or the
too.
cleanse.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is some disrespect. Hung so close to landing the CC. Realistically, I think it just would have been a cleanse out anyway. Would have been nice to get that one. Now you don't even get a chunk onto the Ezreal, which means that you're playing as full HP top esports members as they start up the Dragon finally.
I will say this is multiple times that Scout has had first move out of mid. I don't know if it's going to matter this time. The Magnustorm trying to dissuade the damage onto WeiWei. Max range spear takes the life of Tian. Hung is going to join him straight away as Creme now jumping his way to victory. Gala lightning crashes in the middle of Meiko, and Meiko just locks him down. A double kill goes over to Creme, but it's immediately returned onto by Scout. Bodies are falling, but it's all in favor of top esports.
Yeah, top esports are the only team in the LPL that consistently contest you on all of these early objectives, and they do have the team fighting and laning prowess to get the leg up in them. They have the better entrance to that fight, and LNG, they do walk away with a couple of kills. They end up just about shutting down Tian and Creme, but it gets really, really close. This is what we're saying about blue side being hard to contest Dragon for. You have to stand against this wall. It puts you in real danger. Tian gets a great combo here. Doesn't quite position his ult right to catch WeiWei if he did flash away. I think he could have positioned it over the wall slightly too, but he ends up going down as well from the max range spear beyond that point. WeiWei's pretty much still out of the fight though. Creme jumps forwards, knows he can take the initial 1v2. Can't quite though get away from that last rocket.
Yeah, he kind of jumped into melee range of a Cougar, and they got claws. I'm just going to say that
well, he
right
didn't
now.
turn his back on them.
He did turn his back, but I don't know if that means you just run straight up to a Cougar and say, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, instructions unclear. Melee range of Nidalee.
I was a zookeeper. I know these things, I promise. Although I will say I've never been mauled by a cougar. I don't know how that was. Maybe we can ask.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be... You only really normally get to do that once.
We can ask Creme how it feels.
I'm sure ask that in an interview.
Yeah, I know, right? I think some item spikes coming across are important to highlight, though. Leandri's completed for Tian. It could set up for some big objective takes, but also JackeyLove has that Trinity Force and is looking for more plates on bottom side. They've already taken 3 of them down here, and he's got the poke damage to keep Gala at bay.
I mean, the Spectator and our focus has largely been on what's happened with the early objectives in the jungle, which has ended up being quite even. While that has happened, JackeyLove has torn Gala and hung a new one in bot side and is currently over 1,000 gold ahead. Also benefiting from that early skirmish as well. See those stats on the bottom of the screen? They're nice numbers. I can't read Mandarin, but they're nice numbers, and I can already tell he's going to be a bit of an issue. Already at that early power spike, had that early first blood as well to keep stacking up the tier. His 2-item spike is going to be ridiculously strong. He won't have to sit on the unupgraded Manamune. He can go straight towards that Muramana. Pretty much on completion. It's going to be very quick off the board.
Hey, 13-minute dragon. Let's go. First dragon of the game gets taken by top esports, and we still have about a minute till the Rift Herald spawns. The timer really important on that because I think some stacking for top esports could be the name of the game. But we've got to redeploy out onto the map here with the duo of Gala and Hung moving out together.
I can see that Gala is... They opened up towards top side, and they kind of came out of the base towards that. Gala wasn't quite sure where he was going to be going afterwards. He's now just going to pick up wave in mid lane. Creme, you can see some of his vision. He had 2 pink wards, 1 on either side of him. Some of that's going to disappear now, but he still gets that wave push in. LNG did take the second spawn of Grubs. I think LNG have done a really good job of contesting a little bit in terms of top esports. Really just showing you the finger and say, come and take one of these objectives. They did just about with some of those early skirmishes. Actually get those 3 early grubs. See if they can contest for that Herald as well. Can be very, very important given the leads which are already being built up by top esports, particularly in that AD carry role. 2,000 gold up. If he gets a Herald behind him too, JackeyLove might just shred through a tower and take over the game with a 2-item spike.
And he's been having a heck of a split, but also just a heck of a time on top esports. We talked earlier about Meiko finally being a true veteran support added to JackeyLove, but he has consistently been one of the most consistent ADCs, I feel like, in our league. As now Hung and go for the catch out on 369, but he is Cassante. Scout does a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Another turret falls to top esports, and Gala in some trouble in mid lane too.
Yeah, he has ult. Gala can't stay here. JackeyLove, 2,000 individual gold lead, 2-0-2, benefiting from that level 1 first blood as well, has really not let off on the accelerator. Gala forced back. Gala, MVP of game 1, doesn't have the Ziggs anymore and has to watch JackeyLove completely run over this game. Does get that tower down. Herald's going to charge into mid lane in it. There's no response here from LNG either. No one's moving towards it. Scout's coming through, but they're going to lose most HP even on the inner turret.
Almost losing in tier 2 there is huge, and JackeyLove, a known name, a known staple. Huge time on IG to bring a championship to the LPL, but on top esports, again, he has been the pillar of this team since he came over 4 years ago from IG. Much like a lot of the other players that we were talking about so much and turning their tails and writing new ones, he is also doing so as Tian makes it out like a bandit here in the top side with his Baron-powered recall.
Yeah, I guess the, so when you take a Herald, you get 1 empowered recall to use. So he uses that right there after, again, as you're saying, sweeping through that top side of the jungle. Need to really pay attention now. Early game, great contest by LNG to make sure the Nidalee was useful in shutting down the Zyra. And WeiWei, we talked about him, even from his time back on Suning, been a really good aggressive jungler. I loved him as the full build Poppy, hit level 3, go run rampant across the map. Of course, this Nidalee is also a champion to be respected too, but it is a hard champion to play all the same. He's slightly ahead in gold. Is every chance you lose track of 1 quadrant of your jungle, Tian immediately clears that away, that evens up, and the Zyra becomes so much more impactful than you in team fights. So LNG, they're grouping up with this jungle support. They need to find something, otherwise the Nidalee is going to get less and less useful.
Yeah, and honestly, for top esports, you just stick your bodies in there. 369 and Meiko can lead the charge, get Tian in there, and then you're just making sure JackeyLove and Creme are going to be safe and sound in any way, shape, or form. They are the damage dealers, and Tian will subtly be lifting everybody up, especially with the Stranglethorns. Maybe not so subtly. Top lane could be the play here as 369 and the rest of top esports are collapsing onto Zika. Spear hits, though, so they do know that WeiWei is prowling.
And WeiWei tried his best to get into topside jungle again there, but just can't quite get everything that he wants. Tian has been very, very good at being in the place on the map where he needs to be. He's not been lazy or slow to parts of the jungle which he needs to be in. Scout jumping forward.
Creme's in a lot of trouble. WeiWei gonna try to hit the spear, can't do it. Doesn't get the increased pounce distance there.
And now we get ourselves a bit of a side lane state of affairs. You can see that Scout still been doing quite well in regards to the trading between him and Creme. I do think that Scout has laned better than Creme so far. Just feels like Creme on the Tristana at 2 items will still be able to give so much value to a team fight. 369 left alone on top side.
I like the instant flash from 369, just realizing there could be a lot of hurt coming my way. I need to get out of this engagement before the counter-strike comes out.
369 has to blow that flash. This is one of the specialties of LNG, or it has been in the past. Scout going with a tower-killing champion, and AD carries do classify as that, into a side lane and just getting gold from out of turrets. And then once he gets that gold, he can start going into team fights with big item breakpoints. He's not got an individual lead over Creme, though, so it's not going to be as easy to play towards that. And also, while he's teleporting towards topside, top esports, they're not going to get traded 5-for-1 in turrets again, folks. They do immediately respond with that inner turret, and the inner turret in mid lane as well. They are absolutely balling here. I mean, JackeyLove's got his 2 item spike in 18 minutes. Like, they can push out whatever they want.
They are pumping, as well as Creme having his Navori Flicker Blade there, too, completed. Dragon, number 2, straight to top esports, and this is much more the controlled, efficient top esports that we were expecting tonight.
And they are just starting to take off with the right breakpoints now. Creme walking into topside jungle. He's alone. He can't go too aggressive. He might do anyway. He is Creme. We've known him to do a couple of melee range jumps. Shout out to that Kai'Sa game versus top esports when he was on OMG. But
also
hey,
this game.
Yeah, also this game. We will see, hopefully, if that works out or not. It was something that Joe and I were having a joke about on one of the last casts in terms of what Creme could learn from this organization, in terms of him being the rookie compared to the others. He's not a full rookie, right? But he's still definitely not someone with the veterancy of the other members on top esports. So we're thinking, oh, maybe he'll learn how to be more clinical with the way he dives in and not dive in and die. And then, Munch sits there and goes, Well, he does have JackeyLove on his team, so I don't know.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Maybe not the role models you want if that's the idea you want to go for, but, you know, hey, sometimes you got to hang with the best of them, and he is definitely hanging with some of the best that we have in the LPL, surrounded by stars, but able to be a star of his own, especially in this game, had a little bit easier of a time against Scout than he did in that first one.
I think it really helps with the fact that Tian has been so ever-present across the map. Zyra just about holding even with the Nidalee, briefly got into a gold advantage. Really growing fast on this plant lady.
minutes.
The Baron is alive. He hasn't sat around long enough for his passive spawns to get off the seeds down. You need about 4 or 5 down there to be really rushing it down. Of course, really, really powerful when you have all of those plants in position. Of course, you can refresh them and get the extra damage with your ultimate too. Very, very powerful to see whether those plants can show exactly what they can do. They take the Scuttle Crab. LNG do still need to be careful. They can't let this go for vision. Even though it might not be on spawn, they can't let them sit there.
Jesus. JackeyLove just point blank arcane shifted it away. Probably scared the bejeebus out of him. And
so
here
now
we go.
He's sat here getting his passive spawns. There's no vision on this. There are blue pings. They're going towards topside, but Tian could just go back towards that Baron at any point. LNG are in a very difficult spot now. They can't let this go off vision too long, and it is.
They actually walked away early from the setup around this, but then there was a ton of pings as WeiWei was coming out of base to try to get over here and position around it. Meanwhile, side lane, they do have TPs, but the side lane turret falls. The dance around Baron continues.
Well, that's 4 of your plants there. You can see that Tian using 1 charge of his W just to make sure that the cooldown's coming through onto the Baron, keeping 1 in backdrop there. They're trying to push them out of river, and they will. They'll be able to clear through the seeds, so Top East was not able to get away with that rush Baron.
They stopped the Zyra play here, but Top Esports know they can just continuously pressure this. 2.5 items on JackeyLove. He is ridiculously strong right now as well.
Yeah, so they managed to clear out the seeds. You just have to walk over them and it clears them. Of course, if you manage to cast a spell on them before you walk over them, then there's a lot of angry plants there. But they do stop that all the same. Tian trying to make himself look like bamboo, the world's fastest growing plant. Grows apparently 1.5 inches an hour. You can actually see it growing over a time lapse of a day. Tian trying to emulate that a little bit and try and get himself a good amount of growth around the Baron pit, but it has been stopped so far.
Ever the green thumb, it seems, for Top Esports as WeiWei just gets completely solo killed by Creme. He didn't expect that damage, and that's right to the Baron now. Top Esports, this one's so free.
And they don't even need all the seeds this time. The jungler's dead. There's no smite. LNG knew that was a threat. They try and look for a counterplay.
He's so tanky, and he's Cassante. What are you going to do? Walk at him? No, he's just going to walk away from you. They do lose that tier 2 outer tower there, at least, or the tier 3, but it is pity prizes, it feels like, at this point.
I mean, they get a turret. It's nice enough, but the problem is, LNG, what did we say? Hard comp to play. Hard to play from behind, and the Nidalee becomes less and less valuable as the game goes on compared to the Zyra. Really feels now like Top Esports with that Baron, they're able to open back up onto the map. There's a Dragon coming up in a minute. They can push out multiple lanes. They have teleport on 369 if they want him onto the other side of the map as well, and they can just keep making plays like this. Scout's trying to save the waves. Might have died for it.
He literally just walked out here and immediately has to turn tail and run away, but 369's not going to let him. He gets the early flash out, and the Q3 is not going to hit.
So Scout has to back away from bot lane, tries to sort out the waves before the Baron buff becomes a real problem. Can't quite manage to do it. At least pushes in one wave on bot side, but at the cost of a flash, you start wondering how valuable that really was. Scout trying to make the best of things in a side lane. Now very far behind Creme. We were just saying that Scout getting the better of him in a lot of individual trades, but Creme now 1,000, almost 1,500 gold up on his opposing number. Top East was very calmly playing open this game. LNG, great game from game 1. It went towards late game. I don't think they're reaching it this time.
5,000 gold up makes it very difficult, especially with JackeyLove's advantages. We're going to be very close to third items for both Creme and JackeyLove here as well. So very difficult to play around. And a third dragon all of a sudden taken by Top Esports because Tian can just do that.
Yeah, welcome to Zyra again. This champion is very, very quick at killing things. You can see that. Understand why it's come up to priority within the LPL. It is one of our weirdly priority junglers. We saw some videos of it around the place going, hey, this champion clears really fast in jungle. Do you think there's something we can do here in pro? Answer is yes. We have found that out very comprehensively here. Now, as they push in, Zika has the flank. This might be their chance to break the chokehold.
trying to get the deep flank here. Hung's already half health. Zika gonna show here. Top Esports realize they need to exit out of top if they are going to. They are already getting a tier 2 up there with 369. And Top Esports now move over on Zika, who literally walked all the way across the map, only to leap strike his way out of that one. And the siege is going to continue. 2 lanes to press here for Top Esports, and the Baron's still up for 40 seconds.
JackeyLove eating forwards because he can. He has flash, he has cleanse, he can get poked down, they can get damage on towers. Here goes Meiko
with the double headbutt pulverized there. Gonna get the Stranglethorns underneath as well to set up the kill for JackeyLove. And it looks like it's just a matter of time here. Top Esports didn't take too kindly to that bloody lip from game number 1. And they're putting the pain on LNG.
We did say LNG, it's a harder draft. They didn't have the comfort champions from game 1, and they have looked very, very uncomfortable against Top Esports, and they're overwhelming aggression and pressure across the map. They're pushing in like an unending flood right now.
Top Esports top of the group here in Group C. And LNG's trying to catch that second seed out of here, the second ticket out of Group C to Group A in the next round. But it's Top Esports going to make them work for it here. And time again, they had a 2-0 the first time around in this double round robin. But this time, they will also have to have a little bit more strength here. Zika has some fighting left in him. Gala getting a little low. 369 knocked back into him. The pulverize is there. Nice little crash down from Hung. You still got JackeyLove doing work though. JackeyLove getting flashed off by Zika. He's still living and he's still pumping. Cool as a cucumber goes Top Esports. And we're going to game 3.
They finally remembered to hit the Nexus. They take a couple of champions down with them. Top Esports bring us to game 3. They would have really liked this to be a clean 2-0, but LNG have demanded a third game after that slugfest. Just before this in game 1, Top Esports, they have lost their unblemished record. They have lost a single best of 1, but they will, hopefully for them, try and pick up the whole series in front of LNG's home crowd.
What a way to do it as well. It was all the JackeyLove show. Creme having a lot more consistent of a performance, but man, Tian, again, continues to add to the repertoire that this split has been one of the best of his careers. And I know we got to see a lot of really awesome stuff from Top Esports, from Tian last split, but it's been really nice to see the level up here in summer. Now we'll have to see what a game 3 has in store for us. And